People are fucking losing their minds over Australia and the way that they've dealt with COVID. I do not understand why people are fucking upset with Australia with respect to, like, if you live in America.
2 babies deep.
Simple says Nazis took over Australia when you weren't looking. Let's see what this is.
Doing the wrong thing, driving our record case numbers. Among the most concerning cases, a COVID patient who's tonight on the run from a hotspot. Police and health authorities have issued an urgent appeal.
Anthony Karam knows he's COVID positive when he steps into this public lift. Already breaking so many rules, he doesn't bother to cover his mouth as he sneezes and splutters. The 27-year-old is still infectious but has gone missing from his Wentworth Point apartment. A warrant now issued for his arrest.
This 27-year-old chap, who apparently has expressed the view that he doesn't care less whether he spreads the virus, is one example of the worst.
Dude, I fucking love Australia so much.
Nice shirt, Dad.
I love Australia so much because it's like they take COVID so fucking seriously. They take COVID so fucking seriously that, like, one guy with COVID knowingly fucking walks out of their apartment. They have, like, super strict restrictions, by the way. Like, their restrictions are insane, dude. They have, like, apparently you're, like, locked away under quarantine, and there's, like, military members, like, walking through the hallways of the hotel that you have to stay in and shit like that. Okay? Like, it's wild out there. And, hey, by the way, they're fucking taking this shit super seriously from what I understand. Like, I mean, they've demonstrably taken this seriously. And that's precisely why they did not really have that gigantic of a problem with respect to people dying from COVID. Like, in the state of Florida alone, I was looking at this last night, 42,000 people died of COVID in the state of Florida alone. Let's see. How many people died in Australia of COVID?
Thanks.
There were less cases in Australia than fucking nearly the same number of cases total in Australia as there were deaths in Florida, dude. So excuse me for looking at Australia and wagging my finger at Australia, a country that has been able to deal with this pandemic
Get Vacc
in significantly better ways than most of the Western world. Okay? For those of you who want to know, wait, hold on. I don't even know what the Australian population is, but let's look. So Australia's population is 25 million, right? 25.36 million people living in Australia, all right? Living in Australia, mate. The Florida population is 21 million. So, put that in your fucking tobacco pipe and smoke on it, right? Florida's got less people. He's got fucking almost the same number of deaths as they have the number of fucking cases. So, excuse me if I'm gonna fucking look at Australia and not wag my fucking finger, because it seems like they're doing a good fucking job with dealing with COVID. Dude, for the record, for people who are saying population density, significant factor. Absolutely right. You are so correct. Okay? You are so correct about that. But there is no such thing as, like, a multiplier, a force multiplier. When you look at a state like Florida that's diverse, there's urban environments where there's, like, heavy population density. Same with Australia, by the way. And then there is less dense environments, right? But it's not a fucking multiplier to this degree. Like, that's insane, dude. You cannot look at that and be like, oh, it's because Australia is just, like, you know, way, way, way less dense. Like, you just can't say that. Especially because Australia, just like Florida, has dense areas, like rural areas that are not dense, and then super fucking densely populated cities as well. So, and for the record, I just want to show you once again, Florida COVID deaths.
11 months.
And cases. In the state of Florida, there have been 3 million cases, 42,250 52
Why
deaths.
does this Hassan guy keep referring to
Okay,
our house as
Florida's
my
population is
house?
21
We all
million.
paid for it.
In Australia, the population is 25 million, more than fucking Florida, for the state of Florida, all right? And they've only had 44,000, almost 45,000 fucking cases. Half of that being Tom Hanks and his fucking wife and shit, you know? You American blokes, you're fucking coming down to Australia, you're getting COVID, all right? You're fucking spreading COVID like you're spreading freedom. 900 fucking deaths total. All right? You fucking kidding me?
10 months and still excited for your reactions. Looking forward to your react to last week tonight today. Hassle.
Sorry. Excuse me if I feel like I'm not in a fucking position to talk shit on Australia.
Also, I love your streams. All of them. No matter.
Our country is literally Europe, Florida. Worse than Florida actually is the fastest spread per capita in the world right now, according to New York Times, and no one's getting vaxxed literally because of imported hawk propaganda. Get me off this ride. Oh, Jesus.
No more drama means more opportunity to start path of exile, Protecc.
Australia's population density map? Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Like I mentioned, fucking Florida and Australia have incredibly densely populated areas. Okay?
Yo.
And then areas where no one lives. But even if this was like all rural, okay, even if the entirety of Australia was dominated by fucking emus, and that's why they weren't able to fucking build cities, because the fucking emus came in and they destroy the fucking cities, bro.
Almost time for the
they destroy the fucking cities, mate. Even if they did that, okay, even if like emus just destroyed any sort of like societal formation and it was all spread out, the population density factor would not be a fucking 40x force multiplier. You are out of your fucking... You're over your gold, mate. You're out of your fucking mind, mate. All right? Australia lost to the fucking birds. And then they learned better on better managing pandemics and epidemics. Your accent's like American war involvement. The further you get, the more embarrassing it gets. Here is the fucking Florida population density. All right, population per square mile. All right, let's fucking take a look. It's per square kilometer. All right, well you got fucking imperial units for the other one. I can't do fucking math, mate. You fucking killing me, mate. So. Anyone that died at the beginning of the spread, they put a tag on anyone, and everyone that died from anything, car wrecks and suicides, all claimed as COVID-19 deaths, so the death toll are hyped up by hospitals for money. Yeah, no, totally, dude. You're so right. Yeah, that's totally what happened, dude. Literally the easiest dunked upon point. You're just demonstrating how fucking idiotic you are, because there are death numbers that you can compare to previous years. Okay? So when you look at the CDC's very own information, okay, and you look at how many people died at that same time frame as COVID existed in this country, let's say from January till now, okay, and you compare that to the previous years, you will recognize that the number of extra deaths, okay, the number of extra deaths perfectly line up with COVID. So if you're saying that these people died of suicide, or if these people died of car crashes, when there was a fucking shutdown, lockdown, when there was less fucking foot traffic out to begin with.
Lucky 13th
okay?
month, Pogo.
I have family that died both, and on their death certificate are COVID. Okay, well, you are a fucking idiot, okay? One, that is an anecdote. Two, you're making up that anecdote. Three, it doesn't fucking matter because you cannot account for what I am saying. Okay? Luckily, unless you are an absolute baboon, okay, unless you are an absolute fucking imbecile, you recognize that, like, oh man, my fucking family died of a car crash and suicide, but then they tagged them as COVID. Like, unless you're a fucking idiot, you have to address the 600,000 people that died. You have to address how they died. This is something that this was something I dunked on a year ago. Do you understand? This is something that I literally fucking dunked on a year ago, and you're still in here fucking bringing back like old ass COVID misinformation. Wouldn't a global pandemic greatly change deaths by suicide and car accident, though? Yes, it would.
Enjoy the house
It would significantly decrease the number of fucking car accidents, considering the fact that traffic was limited. Did you ever drive during COVID? I sure did. And let me tell you, it was one of the greatest experiences of all time to be able to fucking drive down Los Angeles streets with not a single other fucking car on the road at times when there's normally bumper to bumper fucking traffic. Roads were empty, dude. It was awesome. That was earlier on though, right? Okay, it still doesn't matter because the excess deaths cannot attribute for fucking 600,000 car crashes, dude. That is psychotic. Car accidents actually went up slightly by like 100 nationwide during COVID. People are psychos. Like, even if car accidents did go up, okay, legitimately went up.
Not gonna make the obvious baby
because there was less traffic and people were driving more irresponsibly. Okay, if they went up by 1%, you are out of your fucking mind to attribute 600,000 extra deaths to these random car crashes, dude. And not only that, but in order to make this conspiracy work, you have to literally claim, okay, that every doctor and every nurse in this fucking country and internationally were in on this conspiracy. And I don't mean conspiracy theory, which is what you're doing, but a conspiracy to like manufacture this narrative that COVID is actually killing people. You would have to have like more than 1 million healthcare professionals, more than maybe even 100 million healthcare professionals worldwide get together in unison, even in areas where healthcare is not dictated by the profit motive, okay? They would all have to get together and lie together. That is impossible. That's why a lot of these like gigantic conspiracies are impossible. Because there are so many people that would have to be in on it that hiding it would be impossible. So you, my friend, are a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, but you are. But don't worry, you're not alone. We're going to talk about a lot of idiots today. Let's get back to Straya for a second, okay? And then afterwards, we'll talk about all of the other stuff that is going on with respect to the FDA authorization and how the hogs have decided to change their messaging. For months on end, I said that you're straight up wrong on the car thing. I'm straight up wrong on the car thing. I said even if car accidents went up by 1% because there was less traffic, so people were driving more irresponsibly, that still does not account for 600,000 additional deaths. Okay? It does not. The excess death data straight up disproves this narrative. Anyway, I can't believe one person.
You are the first person who put my worldview into words. Thank you. I didn't know I wasn't alone until you.
Even though it was one person, it's a common conspiracy that people advocate for all the time that we had addressed, but it doesn't matter. In 2020, there was a 375K COVID deaths in America. The excess deaths were at 520K. Yearly average of people dying in the U.S. of car crashes is 38,000. Yeah, I guess they fucking all, that number increased greatly to it 10x. And then there was an international conspiracy by healthcare professionals that wanted to change these like car accident crashes to like actual COVID deaths. Anyway, your offliners are some of the nicest people I've ever met. Yes, they're incredible. Offliners are the backbone of this community, much like the gaming watchers. They're great. Even though my community overall is great, every part of this community is fucking awesome. I even love the hate watchers, man. It's good content, you know? I make content out of all of it. I make content out of the fucking ad breaks that I need to do. I want to send my conservative dad. Can you show your source for the CDC's historical authority to forcibly vaccinate people? I tried searching, but I couldn't find it. Google smallpox New York inoculations, and you'll see. Okay, let's keep going. Alex Jones on Trump recommending vaccines. I like that this is the moment. Maybe he's just a dumbass. I like that this is the moment that fucking separates Alex Jones from Donald Trump. This is advocacy for vaccinations. Dude, Listen. Here's a take. Are you ready for this? If you've ever shilled alternative medications, okay? Oh, shit. South Dakota, breaking news. South Dakota sees the country's largest 2-week COVID surge with a 230% increase in cases in the wake of the Sturgis motorcycle rally. It's not surprising. Okay, that's in other news, not very surprising news. Let's keep going. You're seriously going to trash talk Noam Chomsky? It's what is called a joke. I know that if you're an anarchist, you are automatically disqualified from laughing at humor. Gold Star anarchists have never laughed. Laughter is bourgeois decadence. I know. Laughter is only something we can fantasize about in the post-revolution comrades. I get it, but that was what I was doing. It was a joke about Noam Chomsky, being a libertarian socialist. Okay. Anyway, where the fuck were we? Oh yeah. All right, let's talk about Alex Jones. Alex Jones, they lied to you, Mr. President. Oh, the rule. Here's a rule. I'm making up a new rule. Are you ready? If you've ever shilled alternative supplements and alternative medications to treat COVID, you cannot have a say in the vaccine conversation. It's illegal going forward, okay? I mean, it's literally illegal to shill alternative supplements that supposedly cure COVID, which is a fact that Alex Jones recognized after he tried to sell toothpaste with colloidal silver in it. This toothpaste got colloidal silver. It's going to open up your tannins, and this is how we're going to fight back against COVID, not by anything else. And then, of course, they stopped him from doing that. This was in the beginning of the pandemic last year. So you should just not be allowed to ever talk again about fucking how to deal with COVID. Iceland see massive COVID spike despite over 90% population vaccinated. Wait, I need to see this. I need to see like what they mean by the massive. Bro. Dude, okay. Without looking, chat, quickly type in how many new cases do you think is massive? Okay, someone already looked at it. 164 infections reported per 100,000 people in the last 7 days, dude. COVID-19 infections are decreasing in Iceland with 84 new infections reported on average each day. There have been 10,000 infections and 30 coronavirus-related deaths reported in the country since the pandemic began. Americans are disgusting, dude. We are such filthy little fucking piglets, okay? We love oinking in our own fucking shit and piss all goddamn day. We eat everything that they fucking shovel down our gullets. And then we turn around and we're like, well, Iceland, it's actually a massive spike. It's like, what? What's the spike? 30 deaths total, motherfucker. Are you insane? Yeah. If you have one COVID case and then you have 5 COVID cases the next week, that's a 500% increase. Okay? It fucking 5x'd. That's a lot. That's crazy. Oh, 400% increase. Shut up. You know what I mean. Fuck you. Okay? Math is a fake concept invented by Muslims. Okay? I don't want to hear you talk about math in here. Okay? Yes, I don't know how to do maths, and that's because I'm a goddamn patriot. Fuck you. It is 500%? Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind. I was right. No, I said 1 to 5. I said 1 to 5. It's a 5x increase. It is literally... Fuck you guys. I was right. Dumbass chatters. Still wrong. Okay? Math is a Muslim concept, and it's fucking wrong. It's wrong. It's indecent. Algebra? That's right.
Your freedoms. I do. You got to do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. But you...
I love that they're clapping and then they stop clapping. Like when they you can see the moment where like, you know, the hogs in the crowd are like, wait, what the fuck? Did he say take the vaccine? What is this, CNN? I will not take it.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
They're booing him.
You got your freedoms.
Boo.
But I happen to take the vaccine. If it doesn't work, you'll be the first to know, okay?
And then nice recovery. Yeah, it's gonna murder me, okay? Come on, don't take the vaccine. It's gonna murder me. Come on, am I good, guys? Now, this is a perfect video that captures the essence of the Republican Party. And what I mean by that is it's a chicken or the egg situation. Like, do Republican commentators and Republican politicians absolutely accelerate the misinformation and vaccine hesitancy among Republicans and among the country? Absolutely. But does that inherent skepticism and anti-science attitude already naturally exist within the Republican circles? Also, yes. And Republicans would rather take advantage of that skepticism and would rather take advantage of like people and their inherent misbelief in science and their inherent like fear of the unknown and use that as a motivator and use that as a culture war issue than to combat that misinformation because they're fucking assholes. And this actually ties perfectly in to what I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Let's finish this clip and then we're going to talk about the Fox News coverage over the FDA approval of the Pfizer vaccine in a brief moment.
I'll call up Alabama and say, hey, you know what? But it is working.
I got the first dose and I kind of regret it because I'm afraid of the potential side effects. Is it an irrational fear? Yes, it is a completely irrational fear. I like that is how he fucking, that is the take that made him fucking believe maybe Trump is a dumbass. Dude, Australia's cases are so laughably small that I don't even personally care to cover it. Like, I don't care that, like, Australia has, like... I know I stopped this short, and I didn't finish this video, but I kind of don't care. Like, I know that this is, like, the new thing. This is the new meta, is, like, Australia is, like, a Nazi country now because of their COVID restrictions and stuff like that. A lot of people are mad. When you use the wrong formula but get the right answer, that's precisely what that is, but that also makes... him a bigger dumbass. Jen Psaki on Trump getting booed over vaccines.
Take anyone who has a big platform out there who wants to encourage people to get vaccinated.
That's a lie because the White House fucking nuked any opportunity of famous political commentator and also house owner capitalist, not a socialist, by the way, of course, Hasanabi Piker, and nuked the opportunity for Hasanabi Piker to have a conversation with Dr. Fauci. So they won't talk to anyone.
Doing it. That's a good thing. And we understand that some of the people who are not yet vaccinated are not people who may have Biden-Harris stickers on their cars. And that's okay. In terms of, I think it's just a recognition, as we are very clear-eyed about, that there are still people who are skeptical out there in the country, that there are still people who, whether because of misinformation or a range of factors, are not yet getting vaccinated, even though it could save their lives. It means we still have more work to do.
Nobody's defining vaccines working. They work to inhibit symptoms in severe cases. They don't work to inhibit cases, especially with the Delta, regarding Iceland and Alex Jones. Wait, no, everyone is saying that. I have said that a million times over. It's just that people go, la, 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 I can't hear you. You mean I'm going to get a jab and then also on top of that you mean to tell me I'm going to get a jab and then, I still have the likelihood of getting COVID? Like, fuck that. I'd rather not get the jab and then possibly die in the hospital with a vent down my throat. Can't see my friends and family, but I'll die a free man. Like, that's their approach to it. Yeah, let's get to good news. FDA has fully approved the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. Got a weird name. But I want to also cover the Fox News coverage of this. I'm going to start off with the GMA coverage, fake news media, and then I'm going to show you what the real news media is covering it like.
Crisis. And get this, there were more new COVID cases in the first 12 days of August than in the entire month of July. More than 1.3 million cases. And this morning, there's a new push to fully approve the Pfizer vaccine. Our Steve Olsensamy is outside the CDC in Atlanta with more. And Steve?
TJ, this morning, the FDA is now granting full approval of the Pfizer vaccine, saying that today's approval for those aged 16 and over affirms the efficacy and safety profile of our vaccine at a time when it is urgently needed. This is a breakthrough in the push for vaccine.
Now, let me tell you something. How many times did I fucking tell you how many times I tell you that, like, every single motherfucker is going to immediately move the goalposts. Like, people that were like, I'm hesitant to get the vaccine because there's no FDA authorization. I don't know. They're going to now say the FDA is fake. This was approved way too fast and it's actually corrupt and I'm still not taking the vaccine. The thing that will actually get people to take the vaccine will not be the FDA authorization or the FDA approval. It might actually get some people who were concerned to reconsider their concerns and maybe get the vaccine, which is good overall. But ultimately, the real good reason is the subsequent mandates that come along with FDA authorization. Once you get FDA approval, you no longer need any sort of like government, federal level sign off, like in the military, for example, to be able to get the shots, to be able to mandate the shots. Okay? Study in Minnesota found that Pfizer dropped to as low as 40% efficacy against Delta. I don't like these one-off studies. I don't really care. We'll see what happens. But ultimately, I'm not surprised if the efficacy is dropping, or with more and more people with the Delta variant, there will be more and more breakthrough cases. We'll have a better understanding precisely of how it works, how well it works. But it's still good. Still good to have it than not have it, especially when, you know, the side effects are almost non-existent.
A number of Americans have not been reassured by the emergency use authorization that was given to the Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J vaccine. Now there is a vaccine that has full FDA approval.
Over 200 million in this country have gotten at least one dose of the vaccine as of this morning, but more than 80 million eligible Americans remain unvaccinated.
And recent polling shows that over 30% of Americans who haven't gotten the shot say they would if the vaccine were fully approved by the FDA. This full approval, according to the FDA, indicates that Pfizer has shown enough effectiveness and safety data to meet the stringent requirements that the FDA sets, which includes at least 6 months of safety data from a majority of volunteers. TJ?
So as you say, Steve, the full FDA approval could be advantageous to push people over the edge if they're unvaccinated, but it could also be a big deal for private industry. Why?
Okay. Well, because a lot of companies that are hoping to, of course, protect their employees, protect their customers, are going to have an easier time mandating the vaccine for their employees. This could also affect travel. Cruise lines, for example, will have a lot easier time demanding you get the vaccine.
All right, Steve Olsen-Salmi for us in Atlanta. Thank you as always.
Oh my God, they just like chopped my boy up like that, dude. He's chopped liver over here, dude. They just like, Prezzo, you're laughing. What did you? This is not good editing, you know? This is not good editing, Prezzo. Bad editing. They cut him down, dude. They cut him down hardcore. Anyway, they hate to see a king thrive. You know what I mean? So I'm going to make fun of influencers pushing vaccines and like the White House efforts, right? But here's how Fox News covered it.
For you now, the FDA just giving full approval to Pfizer's COVID vaccine. It's the first vaccine to get that full approval, and in record time, too. That has critics asking if the process was rushed. Was it? Well,
was it? Who are the critics? Wait, we need to watch this full coverage. Who are the fucking critics, dude? Was it? Was it? Was it rushed? Was the process rushed? Just like monstrous. I hope they don't do this, okay? I hope that they do not fucking continue the efficacy the vaccine hesitancy bullshit, okay? Because that is completely unacceptable.
a Fox News alert for you now. The FDA just giving full approval to Pfizer's COVID vaccine. It's the first vaccine to get that full approval, and in record time, too. That has critics asking if the process was rushed. Was it? Well, let's bring in Admiral Brett Giroir, former Health and Human Services Assistant Secretary, and of course, he was our testing czar. So tell us a little bit, sir, about what this moment means to get full approval.
Well, this is a very big moment in Operation Warp Speed history, in the history of our vaccines, our fight against the pandemic. Prior to this, we had emergency use authorization. What that really meant is that the public health benefits outweighed the known and potential harms. What this says today is we know the benefits, we know the harms, and this vaccine is safe and effective, even better than they did yesterday about getting the vaccine.
Yeah, what took so long?
Well, it is a complicated process, and I know there are many, many good professionals, incredible professionals at the FDA. I was acting commissioner. It does take a while because all the data is looked at in detail. You know, every page is turned, the facilities are inspected. However, again, as I've said before, I think it's unconscionable that the Biden administration does not have an FDA commissioner even nominated to provide leadership. It might have been a little faster, but it is complicated. There's a lot of material, and Americans should feel very confident in the process.
Some have said that they were hesitant to get the vaccine and pointed to this lack of full approval. How do you think the administration and its goal to try to get more people vaccinated can utilize this news?
Well, I think the American people will utilize the news. The poll said about 30% of those who have not been vaccinated would become vaccinated, feel very confident about that once the vaccine received full approval. That just happened. The vaccine is fully approved, and I'm very hopeful that this will push people over the edge to go get the vaccine, because it is our best protection, aside from natural immunity, against all the hospitalizations and deaths, particularly that Delta is causing across the country.
Admiral, as you look down the road now with the FDA approval, and there's talk every day now about a booster shot requirement, how do you view that process today?
So I believe boosters will be authorized at some point by the FDA, hopefully soon. The data in Israel as well as data in here are clear that our vaccine immunity is very good, but it wanes over time. So after 5, 6, 7 months, our protection against infection, and particularly for those over 60, protection against hospitalization and death decreases. A booster shot, just like all your typical vaccines, you know, we give them very many.
I'm going to be fair to Fox News, especially because this is the, oh my God, 1.6 thousand dislikes. Dude, hogs are so stupid. I'm going to be fair to Fox News here and say that, like, this is the daytime coverage, so it's, like, more news-oriented rather than, like, opinions. So it's actually not as bad. Like, the full coverage of it is not as bad, right? We'll see what the critics are saying when the actual critics come out of the woodwork.
Many months apart. We don't give them all in one little sequence. So a booster.
Funny how they never mentioned ivermectin. At least they didn't used to. It's perfect cure and treatment for COVID. Says Epic Brahman 1337. Another hog demanding that we push for the horse dewormer cure that is not a cure that the FDA tells us we should not be using for COVID treatment. That Merck itself, the main big pharma corporation that stands to gain as much as they can from selling as many horse dewormers as possible, has openly stated, do not take this for COVID. But you know better than the motherfuckers who made it.
Booster shot for COVID would be very similar to booster shots we get for other vaccines, and really has the potential to give many, many years of immunity. So it's not just the number, it's the spacing. So I'm very encouraged by the data out of Israel, even published this weekend, showing that that third shot is highly protective, particularly in those over 60.
Okay, so just help us understand this. So in order to get the approval, you need time to make sure that it works, right? Just like the 6-month Pfizer vaccine, let's say, followed by a booster, perhaps, if necessary. But there were Americans getting the vaccine last December. So that's a full 8-9 months ago from today. So at what point would Pfizer then understand and know whether or not a booster was necessary? Can you forecast that?
So Pfizer has been talking about...
Ivermectin for COVID is insane, but calling it a horse dewormer is media clickbait because it also used to kill parasites in humans. Yes, humans are also animals. Yes, there are drugs that we give to animals that we could also fucking give to human beings. But the most common application of ivermectin is horse dewormer and just a dewormer for fucking cattle. So that's precisely why people are fucking using it like that, okay? That's the most common usage for it. So I don't know what you want. Like,
waning immunity, and there's been many publications about waning.
Isn't that like saying ketamine is a horse tranquilizer? Many people do say ketamine is a horse tranquilizer, except, you know, its most common application is still utilized amongst human beings now, at least.
Waning immunity, but you have to have the.
And it's not just the media doing that meme. The FDA has done that meme. So at that point, I think that it's like, you know, it's fair play to just, wait, what? No, not this meme, bro. I want to see the FDA article literally says, you are not a horse. Do not take the fucking horse dewormer for COVID. Like, you are not a horse. You are not a cow. Seriously, y'all, stop it. Why you should not use ivermectin to treat or prevent COVID-19. This is the FDA themselves. You are not a horse. You are not a cow. You are a hog. Let's keep going.
Time that goes by, and 6, 7, 8 months, this is the time where the immunity wanes. So you really have to wait that amount of time. And what we're seeing right now is it's not only waning immunity, but the vaccine is still effective against Delta, but it's not as effective against Delta as the other variants and the parent strain. So what we're seeing right now is because of diminished effectiveness against Delta and waning immunity, we're getting the cases. And that's why that third dose is going to be very important. It's already been authorized for the immunosuppressed, and I am pretty certain it's going to be authorized for at least people over 60, maybe over 50 within the next few weeks.
We know that the efficacy goes down maybe after 8 months, and especially for people over.
Don't you think there's anything suspicious with the whole pandemic from the very start? CCP, World Health Organization actions, lack of transparency? No, that's not fucking suspicious. Every government, including the Chinese government and including our fucking literal state governments, have suppressed in some way, shape, or form the actual severity of COVID. So if you have a problem with the CCP suppressing the severity of COVID and then using like all of the other fucking things that those who claim that COVID is not severe, then you have a serious fucking brain dewormer problem, okay? Lack of transparency is common practice in most governments, regardless of whether they're the CCP, the communist government, or the capitalist American governments, okay? The gain of function lies is idiotic. Of course, there's going to be fucking research on bats in a virology institute. And of course, that virology institute is going to get funding from the NIH. Every fucking virology institute collaborates with one another. It's at the basis of epidemiology. The Wuhan lab leak theory was immediately combated because people thought that there was actually this was a zoonotic spread. And most people that were saying that it was a lab leak were also tying it back to the fucking Chinese bioweapon theory. And once again, the Wuhan lab leak theory is just a theory, just like the fucking natural zoonotic spread theory is just a theory. But there is one way to disprove the fucking notion that it's a bioweapon, and that is the fact that there is nothing in its genetic makeup that implies that there's a fucking bioweapon there. And now, god damn it, the chat is moving so fast that I missed the rest of the fucking take, so I can't even address the other shit. Fuck. Google, YouTube censorship, and it's being highly politicized? Yes, there should be more censorship with respect to fucking misinformation when it comes to a public health crisis and dealing with a public health crisis. There, I fucking said it, okay? Obviously, I hate censorship considering the fucking reality that, you know, I myself have heterodox opinions, okay? Opinions that fall outside of the neoliberal capitalist point of view that is seen as acceptable. You can go way, 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 way further to the right and maintain prominence in American media, i.e. Tucker Carlson and Fox News, than you can as a left-wing commentator that is anti-capitalist, okay? Maybe now that I am a fucking landowner, a homeowner, perhaps people's opinions might change. Maybe they'll be like, oh, this guy's one of us, and they'll accidentally let me fucking on the shows or some shit like that. But having said that, there are reasons as to why that freedom of speech is not absolute and it's not fully fucking free. Okay? This level of misinformation is causing harm to millions of Americans. Okay? So yes, I am actually on board with combating this stuff. And Facebook, unfortunately, is not combating this stuff at all because it drives fucking clicks for them.
60. What do we know about the lasting effects of natural immunity?
So natural immunity is very important, and there are still no data to suggest that vaccine immunity is better than natural immunity. I think both are highly protective. We do know, however, that even if you're naturally immune, a dose of vaccine can even raise that even further. But I think if you had proof of COVID infection right now, that's still equivalent to vaccine immunity. And even the CDC recognizes that if you're an American coming back to this country, if you've had a proof of a previous COVID infection, you don't even need to be tested. So I think when businesses reopen, they ought to consider natural immunity, vaccine immunity, or frequent testing, all equivalent to get you back in the workplace.
Okay.
I had one last quick thing, which is, some have suggested that, they'd like to go after big pharma, complain about big pharma and all of the profits, and that this is, suggesting a booster is just a way for them to make more money. How would you reply to that?
Look, I'm not going to defend big pharma except to say that they came to the rescue with a lot of government support here. The doses are $20 a dose. This is not very expensive. And the science clearly says this is not a pharma scheme. This is absolutely necessary to protect Americans. The first two doses, and now we see the third dose.
Okay. Last point on this whole booster thing. You're going to have some people who are going to run to their doctor to get the booster shot, right? I mean, we can agree on that. You're going to have somebody who's saying, man, you told me to get the vaccine. I got the vaccine. Now I got to go back again. I mean, from a medical standpoint, from a messaging standpoint, how do you communicate that to people?
The real question is this. Sir, how do you communicate that to people when we are going to literally provide round-the-clock misinformation, call it coverage, and try to get as many people to not take the booster shots or even take the fucking now fully approved FDA approved vaccine? How do you combat the misinformation that we ourselves on the Fox News network are doing our very best to promote, sir?
That this is the next step that you need to do to keep you and your family safe.
Well, I would just ask people to consider when they get their children vaccinated, they don't get all the vaccines in one little bunch. Same thing for HPV, same thing for hepatitis B. You actually have to get it over time. That months should pass and your immune system evolves its response. And when you get that boost, it's long lasting.
A special type of
what we did here in the
appeared
pandemic is we got everybody vaccinated to squelch the storm.
Where are the people that participated in the vaccine studies before it was okayed? Are they still alive? A lot of drugs are used for off-label use. This vaccine doesn't work. The FDA is a terrorist organization. You're flicked in the head, dude. You're a fucking idiot. You're a liberal piece of shit. Why did we ban this person? This person is incredible. I'm unbanning them immediately. I would like to hear more from them, like, pronto. I would like to hear everything. FDA is a terrorist organization, brother. Yay. Yeah, I already addressed all the fucking dumbass takes that one person had about like Google censorship and misinformation. This is pretty funny. When the FDA tells me to stop taking ivermectin because it's for horses, I tell them I identify as a stallion. Checkmate, bitches. Like, please get new material. Please. Sirs and madams, get new material, please. Nope. I will not. I will keep doing the same joke. Which at this point is like not even a fucking joke. Okay, at this point, I don't know. Like, different kinds of seasoning for, the exact same fucking joke. The Attacc helicopter joke. Also, so I have talked about ivermectin before on this broadcast. Okay? I will talk about ivermectin once again. So, ivermectin is horse dewormer. The FDA has told Americans and warned Americans not to fucking take ivermectin. It has human use as well as a dewormer. But, the one study that showed that ivermectin could have potential uses for COVID treatment, okay, was immediately disproven. And yet, as is the case with hydroxychloroquine early in the pandemic, as is the case with hydroxychloroquine, it doesn't matter because once, like, conservative media that has a legitimate interest in, taking advantage of, like, the skepticism that, like, a lot of these dumb hogs have and want to do their own personal branding project, gets a hold of these, like, alternative cures, they pump it. Some of which pump it because they might have stock ownership over it. I don't know. Some of them pump it because they just simply think this is good. This is a good way to make themselves appear different than the liberal media, because everything and anything needs to be used as a way to draw battle lines. Okay. And I've talked about this before. Everything needs to be used as a culture war battle line. Like, this is my team. Okay. And it's very different than the libtard team. That's the whole purpose of this, because there isn't that much disagreement when both sides are capitalist, and also both sides do not genuinely want to change the material conditions. So you have to hyper focus on idiotic shit like this. So that's why, you know, Brett Weinstein, who probably agrees with many of the things that a Democratic or Republican presidency actually ends up doing with respect to, like, you know, controlling, or with respect to, like, you know, eviction moratoriums, shit like that, like ending states ending the additional unemployment compensation ahead of time, exclusively so they can motivate the fucking poors to go back to work. All that sort of stuff. Like, they oftentimes are in agreement on things like that. Okay? They're in agreement when it comes to lowering the tax rate for corporations and the wealthy, shit like that. So they have to find other dumbass things like this to, you know, draw lines on. This is known as wedge issues in American politics. So there's an uptick in Mississippi poison control calls from people who take livestock dewormer to treat COVID-19. At least 70% of the recent calls have been in regards to the ingestion of ivermectin bought at feed stores. Take a look.
Poison control reports an alarming uptick in calls from people who took a drug bought at a feed store meant to deworm livestock, and some believe it would help with COVID. But Caitlin Rust has more now on why it could possibly leave you paralyzed.
Double M, may I help you?
Komodo Hype says, leftists all genuinely feel like they're superior. We just feel sorry for you. Thanks, man. Here's the thing. You're still taking horse dewormer, you fucking idiot, when there's like an easy vaccine that you should be taking already. And you are unnecessarily putting yourself at risk. So ultimately, it doesn't matter if leftists think they're better than you or they think they're worse than you. It literally doesn't matter, okay? You can feel sorry with a fucking tube down your goddamn neck, okay? That you rely on by those same shark doctors who were lying about COVID numbers ahead of time. You know, originally they were lying, but now they're saving your fucking sorry ass.
Every day, people, phone calls, people coming in.
Raina Boudreau at Double M in Harvey says it started about a month ago.
It's been flying off the shelves, and as of right now, it's very hard for us to even get.
She put out 10 tubes of ivermectin paste for livestock just this morning.
I am completely out as of right now.
She says a woman even came in from Mississippi to get some for her farm because it's hard to get your hands on right now, even for vendors.
They're telling us that I can only get 12, maybe 24 bottles.
Mississippi's health department put out a warning because poison control reports at least 70% of the recent calls have been related to ingestion of ivermectin meant for livestock. Meanwhile, Tractor Supply is starting to display these signs in stores because of the rush.
You know, when you use a product that is highly concentrated, that is designed in an oral form for a horse, right, or for cattle, it is easy to overdose.
It gained popularity over social media as a COVID-19 cure and preventative treatment, even though the FDA has not approved it for that purpose and explicitly tells people not to take it for COVID.
The New England Journal of Medicine and Lancet, which is one of the primary British journals of medicine, have since removed the article that was placed in there, the study talking about the effectiveness.
Ivermectin is approved to use for parasites, lice, and some skin conditions in humans, as well as deworming animals. But animal drugs are highly concentrated and can be highly toxic in humans.
There is a specific drug for humans, made for humans. It is a 3 milligram dose, and you get it by prescription from a pharmacy.
Because ivermectin is a powerful neural paralytic agent.
And high enough dose.
I got apple flavored, one for my horsey and one for myself, brother. We both like apples.
Doses, it will cross the
terrorist FDA. I want a freebase ivermectin, brother. I'll do it. I'll tell you What?
Blood-brain barrier. And what it does is that it basically can result in paralysis.
The toxicity in animals is highly variable. Some animals can't even take it, and it's so powerful it's used in one dose or over the course of just a couple days.
It really is concerning if people are taking it either daily or weekly. Depending on your body's ability to clear the drug, every time you take it, you're increasing the total amount of drug in your system, which can lead to overdose over time, if not from a single dose.
Mississippi's poison control.
Damn, they just cut his ass off, dude.
Says 85% of the callers had mild symptoms and none of them have been hospitalized. Louisiana's poison control says it's received calls from 18 people who have taken the drug. Shelley?
That's right. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good take. So Biden is calling on U.S. companies to mandate the COVID-19 vaccine for employees following the FDA decision. And conservatives saying, tell Pfizer to drop their liability waiver. If it's that good, why are they taking it? Why are they hiding behind a waiver? Their poison is only 39% effective, but 100% poison, of course. Patriots stand up and put any company out of business that require this. We are the majority. Love that. Absolutely love that, dude. Love that for Virginia. Love that for the country. Let's see what Biden had to say.
Today I'm calling on more companies, I should say, in the private sector to step up with vaccine requirements that'll reach millions more people. If you're a business leader, a nonprofit leader, a state or local leader who has been waiting for full FDA approval to require vaccinations, I call on you now to do that. Require it. Do what I did last month. Require your employees to get vaccinated or face strict requirements. Today I'm calling on more countries.
This lie-demic are just reinforcing them freedom haters down at the FDA. So now me and my ma Horsey ain't ever going to take Pfizer. Vaccine tested on humans and proven to be safe equals poison. Super concentrated horse dewormer equals cure. Yes. If you're a fucking hog, you are closer to a horse than you are a human. So that is precisely why these hogs are actually doing this. I don't have a problem with it. Okay, I take it back. Wait, what's he saying? It's a fact that the red states will never be convinced that this vaccine is safe. So what's your plan now? I love this. This is an incredible take. Look at this. It's an incredible take. This guy's giving me the gift of incredible takes. Your mods are spineless cunts. No, just fucking hold on, dude. No. Just let it happen. Let it happen. I mean, he's called me a fucking idiot and a liberal piece of shit. Okay. Like, let him fucking talk his shit. Talk your shit, dude. Talk your shit. It's fucking funny. So I like this take because he's basically saying, like, I'm too stupid and I don't give a fuck. Okay. Southern states are too dumb to take the fucking FDA approved vaccine. So what are you going to do about how dumb we are? I don't know. Maybe we'll trick you, dude. Maybe we'll say it's ivermectin and instead it's actually just the fucking vaccine. How about that? I represent 51% of the people in the country and you censor me. I'm telling you the truth from 51% of the people. First of all, no. 51% of the people in this country are not conservative. So that's kind of copium. You guys lost the election. It looks like you would want to know the truth from our side instead of censoring me and sticking your head in the sand. You work for the Young Turks and HuffPost. You have no legitimacy. Okay? You're also racist against people with a southern accent. You're a piece of shit. You don't want to debate. You want to censor those who oppose you. Keep sticking your head in the sand, Mr. Ostrich. I love this man. Come on, dude. Look at this guy. Is this like a fake account? Have a good one, you vaccine-taking sheep. No, please don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Please give me more. Give me more. This is incredible. Oh, man said, Mr. Ostrich. What's the rationale for forcefully mandating vaccines? Most studies show that for Delta, you can be vaccinated and still spread COVID. And shouldn't it be my choice to take it or not take it? No. And the reason, ironic, cyanide for dinner. And the reason for why there should be a mandate is so that you don't fucking die. Okay? Sorry, there are laws that stop you from fucking killing yourself. Because, unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are really fucking stupid. Like this guy. Okay? What do I mean by that? Well, you know, you might want to be able to drive drunk. You might want to be able to drive without a seatbelt, but there are rules that stop you from doing that. Just like in certain states, there are rules from driving without a fucking helmet on. Okay? In the case of driving drunk, for example, yes, a significantly higher percentage of fatalities that occur in car crashes are sober drivers. However, drunk driving incidents do occur, despite the fact that it is literally illegal. Why? It's not oppression. Well, technically, it is oppression, but it's justifiable oppression towards those who want to, use their liberties to be able to drive drunk. Because you are putting others in harm's way. You are putting yourself in harm's way, and you're putting others in harm's way. How are you putting others in harm's way? Well, first and foremost, my most important reason is that I can't go to the gym without a fucking mask. Okay? The quicker we have a higher percentage of people that are vaccinated, the faster we get through this pandemic, this plandemic, so that we can go back to the gym without masks on. Okay? That's number one. Two, you are shutting down hospitals when the majority of the ICUs are attributed to people who did not actually get the COVID vaccine and are now significantly sicker than those who have gotten the COVID vaccine. That's not a good thing, okay? It's not right for you to take up a bed because you're a goddamn hog when there's like cancer patients and shit that need the ICU. So this is precisely the reason why southern states that are currently experiencing shortages in ICU capacity need to fucking start enforcing vaccination mandates, okay? Because while the vaccine may not prevent you from actually getting COVID in the case of breakthrough instances of the Delta variant, which literally was created as a consequence of some people being vaccinated and others not being vaccinated, which we can talk about. However, in the case of the Delta variant, the vaccine's efficacy is still high with respect to preventing you from dying and with respect to preventing you from going to the hospital with the most severe symptoms. Someone gifted him a sub, probably, chat. I don't think he bought it himself. Yeah, he knows gifted him a sub. Okay, I'm living rent-free in your head. I never take ivermectin. You have your head in the sand. Okay. Okay, brother. I mean, you're not living rent-free in my head. You're actually literally, you're working for free right now. You are my entertainment. Your dumb takes are incredibly creative and incredibly stupid, so we're making fun of you, and I'm using you as content. I'm exploiting you. But thank you for willingly giving me content. Now let's get back to ivermectin. Everything's going great on the very active public ivermectin Facebook groups. Only a few people taking 10x what everyone else is taking, wondering what to do with a bottle of the injectable kind with a picture of cattle on it, begging for earnest medical advice. Literally fucking cows on the bottle. Are these the right ones? And what do we use with it? And the quantity, please. Do we drink it or do we put it on? And people who are a little on the big side, are there any dangers or side effects, please? Aw, it's kind of a cute way to say, like, I'm kind of fat. Like, will I, actually get severe consequences if I take this thing that's for horses? Hello, everyone. I drank 20 milliliters of ivermectin. It's not that dangerous. I'm dizzy. I can't walk straight. Thank you. Are you crazy? You can only drink 1 milliliter for every 50 kilogram of body weight. That's way too much. Can cause liver damage. 2.4 milliliters. Hello, everyone. It is now day 3 that I drank ivermectin. I still have to drink 2 times, 5 days, and then 1 in 2 weeks. Is it normal if it hurts a little muscles? My body muscles are very sore. How long after you stop using ivermectin can you get vaccinated? And can you use again after vaccination? Am senior citizen. I like the idea that there is a guy who's going, are you crazy? There's a finite amount of cow medicine that you can be using as a human. Which is true. But I like that, you're in a public Facebook group about using cow medicine. You're also crazy. You're just less crazy than the other guy, I guess, in comparison. But you're still fucking crazy. So it's kind of funny. It was like, are you crazy? Don't we have the majority of people vaccinated and now breakthrough cases are rising and we're planning on a 3rd dose? So how many doses until we're actually vaccinated? COVID most likely is never going to stop. That is the unfortunate reality. Okay? In the absence of a full-blown, complete fucking vaccination protocol and additional boosters whenever there's COVID season, we will never fully get over COVID. And the unfortunate reality is that we will never fully get over COVID. It'll always be like an endemic that comes back because there are far too many people who don't want to take the vaccine. So there will be new mutations. My fear is that there will be a new variant that's even more deadly. Just like the current Delta variant is actually impacting younger and younger populations in worse ways than the prior variants. All previous pandemics this bad have mutated into harmless strains, e.g. the Spanish flu. I wonder if there was anything that did that. How did that happen? And do you foresee that being a good way to go about dealing with COVID? Anyway, what's the percentage vaccination rate for the flu, though? We probably have more people vaxxed for COVID than flu. Yes, except the flu is not as deadly as COVID. That's the difference. Luckily, though, the COVID vaccines have a significantly higher efficacy rate than the influenza vaccines. So there's that, too. Those who refuse to take the vaccine should forfeit their right to be hospitalized for COVID-19. I've said this before, like in passing, but I mean, that's a really terrifying prospect, and we're never going to get there, hopefully. But you know, in a moment of weakness, I do say shit like that. Don't take that seriously. Anecdotal chat with a friend about his dad's reaction to the news Pfizer is getting FDA approval. We're going to see a lot of this because it's only an excuse. Mandates now. You cannot persuade people. So my dad is unvaccinated, low-key anti-vax generally. We were just chatting more about COVID broadly and where things might head. Anyway, he goes ahead and mentions that he's making a point to avoid indoor group settings since he's not vaccinated. He then says that he will remain unvaccinated until a COVID vaccine receives full FDA approval. There's a pause. I proceed to mention that one of them is due to receive such approval by tomorrow. His immediate response, well, maybe not even then. Yeah, of course that's what's going to happen. I'm not letting him off the hook for having poor critical thinking skills and putting himself in contact with this kind of brain poison, but it really makes me want to strangle the grifter quack pieces of shit that disseminate this garbage. I told you guys already. Goalpost is always going to move because it's not coming out of a place of like critical thinking. If they had critical thinking skills, then they would have gotten fucking vaccinated. Okay? Then they already would have gotten the fucking vaccine, especially if they're older too. It's coming out of a place of fear. The only thing that will get a higher percentage of people vaccinated is going to be mandates, is going to be passports, is going to be restricting people's freedoms to travel, forcing them to get the fucking vaccine. I'm sorry. That's what the government is supposed to do for the safety of all individuals. How many of the conservatives that mock Zoomers for eating Tide Pods are now injecting ivermectin? It's true. That's a good take.
On now to our GMA cover story. Facebook has revealed that one of its most popular posts this year was one that spread misinformation about the COVID vaccine. As the White House teams up with top...
Hold on. FDA approved Pfizer vaccine today. No, don't give in. This is not safe and no science behind it like they claim. I'm a nurse and refused my mandate. Were you able to keep your job? Yes, I fought back. So happy for you. God bless you. Still not taking it. Nope, no way. Of course they're not going to take it. It is now a part of their identity to not take the vaccine. It's a part of their political identity. It's a part of their full-blown identity. It's a part of their lifestyle. Just like guns are. You know what I mean? It's like, it sucks, but it's the truth. Is it justified if people get vaccinated today after waiting because of the approval? What? Oh, dude, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what your reasons are. I've told you guys, lie to your fucking parents and trick them into getting the vaccine. I don't give a shit what is the motivating principle behind people getting vaccines. Who gives a shit, dude? It's ultimately a good thing. So, yeah, I don't give a fuck. It's massively racist. Oh, we'll hear this a lot, too. There's this, like, notion that black people are not getting vaccinated. Because there is a, you know, there are big populations of black folk that are not getting vaccinated. There's a lot of vaccine hesitancy in the black community. Even though in, like, states like Texas, for example, a higher percentage of the black population is vaccinated than the fucking white population. So the new talking point is going to be that this is actually racist. You're actually being racist. And they'll probably try to tie it back to like voter ID or some shit.
Social media influencers in a new push to get young people vaccinated. Ashan Singh has the story. Good morning, Ashan.
Ashan? Paco?
Morning, George. The race is on to get shots in arms around the country as we're seeing more and more hospitalizations from state to state. Now, the White House is tapping influencers on apps like TikTok to combat disinformation and get Gen Z fully vaccinated.
I wanted to take this time to really urge all of you guys to go get vaccinated.
These days,
This is what your kids' TikTok feeds are looking like.
So please go do your own research and join the millions of us getting vaccinated.
Posts and content from their favorite influencers, encouraging young people to get vaccinated. It's the latest effort headed by the Biden administration to get shots in young people's arms. With only 40...
I'm going to be honest with you. This is just a waste of money. It's not that much money, so it doesn't really fucking matter. But I personally think it's a waste of money because you will never be able to combat the disinformation. You will never be able to combat the disinformation campaigns that are created and pushed by people who feel like personally attached to being an anti-vaxxer. You just won't be able to. Plus, people will turn around and be like, oh, okay, well, you know, wow, now the government is like getting influencers to tell me to take the vaccine. Yeah, like I'm going to fucking trust Olivia Rodrigo and her point of view. Instead, I'm going to trust, you know, truthtellereaglefuck.net because he's a truth teller and a patriot and he told me he's a doctor and he wears suspenders. But still, you know what I mean? It's just not. I can't like, I do not see this being an effective campaign. And I know for a fact that you cannot push back against active disinformation campaigns. Yeah, we already looked at the Fox News. This is it wasn't all that bad. Like you cannot combat active disinformation campaigns created by passionate people that are fucking pumping out misinfo non-stop.
46% of 18 to 24-year-olds fully vaccinated against the coronavirus. The White House is tapping the likes of Gen Z icons, Olivia Rodrigo, Dude with Sign.
Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Someone like myself, who is routinely yelling about this stuff, that very clearly is not getting like paid to say this shit, is gonna be a more effective speaker for vaccinations than like a TikTok teen that is like dancing while telling you to take the fucking vaccine. It's just the reality.
And Benny Drama, just to name a few.
I'm here with President Biden talking about the importance of getting vaccinated.
It's critical.
Spirit fingers, mama. We need to get shots in the arms of every single American.
Now, they've got a full roster of creators ranging in popularity, partnering with organizations.
What's he saying? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. My king. If I'm your entertainment, then why is your complete narrative against people like myself? I'm your concern, not your entertainment. No comment, eh? You know I'm right. I am your concern. There's nothing you can do to change our minds. Admit it. You are afraid of that fact. Dude, you're gonna die, idiot. Like I am concerned. You're not wrong. I am actually concerned that there are so many people even in this chat that like their fucking parents are gonna die. And that sucks. So yeah, I don't want that to happen. So you're not wrong. I am actually concerned. But you are reveling in your own stupidity, and it blows my mind where you're like, I'm a fucking dumbass, and I'm proud of that fact, which of course is basically like at the heart of conservatism in general. You know what I mean? It's awesome, though. I mean, you're very entertaining in your passionate advocacy for how fucking stupid you are. I'm gonna be just fine. No, you're not. You're probably not. Hopefully, you never get COVID. Okay. There have been a million people like you that are like in the fucking hospital that are like, oh, I was wrong. Maybe not a million, but the thousands of people like you who are like on their fucking deathbed begging for the vaccine, but it's too late and they fucking die. You know what I mean? I hope that you never get COVID. I hope that you never take up an ICU bed away from someone who needs it more than you. Where are these people? You can't tell me that fake shit. What?
So Gen Z for Change is a coalition of over 500 TikTok creators with a combined following of about 432 million people. Our cumulative reach with all the creators in the network in 1 month is about 1.5 billion views. That's more than CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News combined per month.
A study by UC San Francisco researchers found that about 1 in 4 unvaccinated people aged 18 to 25 said they probably will not or definitely will not get the COVID-19 vaccination, despite the fact that this demographic has been found more likely than other age groups to transmit coronavirus.
What is it about young people and teenagers that might make them so resistant to the vaccine?
I think that a lot of teenagers are stuck in their bubble.
Much of the hesitancy is also due to the growing tide of disinformation on social media.
You have people that are also influencers. They're solely anti-vax influencers, like Dr. Joseph Mercola, who have built, $100 million massive business, essentially promoting disinformation about vaccines online. Just recently, Facebook banned an entire network that was actually paying influencers to post vaccine disinformation and spread lies about the vaccine. So the White House.
Oh shit! Look who it is. Friend of the show. Glenn Greenwald's mortal enemy, nightmare, Taylor Lawrence.
This is a real uphill battle.
Navigating disinformation.
New York Times' very own Taylor Lawrence.
A task that many of these younger influencers are forced to deal with.
When it comes to people saying the vaccine is going to microchip you, you just want to immediately knock down, and debunk the stuff that's disinformation. Let's stop the fear mongering so we can actually address the real concern.
I know a lot of doctors said that if there's a more deadly variant, that hospitals may be forced to not accept unvaccinated patients as a triage measure. That fucking makes sense.
And guys, every influencer we talk to, they realize that it's an uphill battle against the waves of disinformation that are out there. But if they can convince one person to get vaccinated, they'll feel like that they helped make a difference. We'll have this and a lot more tonight on Nightline, so stay up for us.
Wait, I wonder if this was the guy who fucking reached out to me that wanted to do a full-blown, puff piece on me. Could be. I didn't accept because I was worried that there was no editorial control, so they could just, flip it. And in a lot of instances, they do end up flipping it. Not the person who originally makes the piece, but, an editor will turn around and be like, yeah, fuck that. This is not sexy enough. We should just, pump it full of, just shitty. Based on an NBC poll, black voters were most likely to be vaccinated. 76% of black people said they've already been vaccinated, 6 don't. I mean, this is one poll. It doesn't matter. What matters is what percentage of black people have been vaccinated already. And in a lot of places in America, black people have been vaccinated a higher percentage than white people. So ultimately, though, I think in America as a whole, yes, black people are less vaccinated than white people. Oh, it's voters. Never mind. That's why. That's the difference. What kind of journalism org would ever give editorial control to the person being reported on? No. Not editorial control. Sorry. I meant the editorial control oftentimes in places like that go to get taken away from the actual journalist that's writing the piece by producers that are higher up that want to change the direction. Which is why I'm saying, I don't have any control over that. I will never have any control over that. That's understandable. So I don't like doing it. Someone actually brought up a really good point. Could it be because a lot of black people live in red states where they aren't pushing the vaccine at all and instead making anti-mask mandates? That could be a big reason. I wonder what that looks like, what that demographic makeup of vaccinated black folk look like in blue states, in urban environments, versus in red states. Or even urban environments in red states versus rural environments in red states. All right, let's watch the New York Times opinion piece that they did called Dying in the Name of Vaccine Freedom.
It's hard to watch the pandemic drag on.
You're talking about an unproven, untested vaccine that doesn't even seem to really protect people because people who've gotten the vaccine are getting sick.
I went to one of the places with the worst vaccination rate.
I don't want a poison forced into me.
I'm tired of y'all trying to control us.
One of the best things we have is our own God-given natural antibodies.
It also has one of the worst COVID case rates in the country, the Ozarks.
I don't take the flu shot. I don't take the pneumonia shot. I don't take any of them.
I wanted to find out why residents here aren't getting vaccinated.
You're trying to mask these kids up. It's detrimental to their health.
And what if
I've literally never, this is so
anything could
it's just
them otherwise.
Misinformed white people with a fuckload of anyway, let's watch this.
Hey, Mr. Green. It's Dr. Martin here. How are you? I heard you had kind of a rough night last night.
Christopher Green is 53 years old and fighting for his life. Like 90% of the patients in this packed hospital, he's unvaccinated.
He's just walking a very thin, tight rope right now, and to be honest, I don't expect him to get out of this without being on a ventilator, and if he has to be on a ventilator, I don't expect him to survive.
I immediately asked Christopher, why hadn't he gotten the vaccine?
I'm more of a libertarian, and I don't like being told what I have to do. I'm still not complete.
Well, you are being told what you have to do now. You know, you're being told you have to have a fucking tube down your throat. So that's something that you're being told, you're being forced to do.
Completely 100% sold on the inoculation.
It was eerie to hear Christopher insist on his individual freedoms, even as he struggled to breathe.
Do you think other people should get it? I mean, I think that's everybody's individual right or choice to do what they want to. So I'm not one to dictate or make somebody feel guilty because they don't.
Christopher represents a genuine challenge. Do the American values of individual choice have to take priority over public health?
No. And they never have, and they never should. Okay? No. If you are too stupid, and there's historic precedent for this, for people who are unaware, Americans didn't automatically or magically transform into fucking hogs last year. We've always had our version of American individualistic entitled hogs. And we've always fucking forcibly inoculated them. And we're going to keep doing that. That's what's coming if you don't fucking do it. If you want to be a hog, if you want to take fucking cattle medication, then we'll treat you like fucking cattle. Okay?
By the time they're here, what can you do? You know, and it's when somebody's in a room really, really sick and can't breathe and suffering, I mean, it's just not a good time for a lecture.
But the result in a place like Mountain Home is a 30...
I read that people who took the vaccine would die in 2 years. It was said by a Nobel awarded scientist in Europe. Have you seen it? What do you think about that? I don't believe it because you probably saw that on fucking Facebook. Shut the fuck up. That is an insanely idiotic take. Also, Obama got a fucking Nobel Peace Prize, so the Nobel system is like, you know, not exactly the greatest fucking source of authority, okay? And so did Aung San Suu Kyi, who is now contributing to the genocide of Muslims in Myanmar. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, Nobel, not good at predicting whether or not people will do shit in the future that's dumb as fuck. My mom questioned whether or not I love my country when I asked her why she can't get vaccinated for the greater good of everyone. She said because the country is found on rigid individualism, and then called me a sheep. Tell your mom that George Washington forcibly inoculated his troops. So she's wrong on that. Like, she's literally incorrect. The country was founded on, obviously, like, you know, slavery, genocide, a bunch of that sort of stuff, you know, establishing a hierarchy for white land-owning males for the most part, designing a system around making sure that that specific group of individuals can just subjugate everyone else. But let's avoid all of that for a second for the sake of this argument and say, well, George Washington literally forcibly inoculated his troops. So I think, are you British? Like, what's going on, Mom? Are you about to say, oi, bruv, top of the fucking morning to you, yeah? Fancy a cuppa? Is that what your mom is saying? That's what you should just start making fun of her. Be like, what are you, a fucking Brit? Ew.
36% vaccination rate, and people are dying.
Let everybody live their own life.
I heard this over and over. Freedom, choice.
Don't do it because somebody's pressuring you.
Why not require PCR for every enter-your-job public gathering? Because PCR is not as accurate. And also, that would be an insanely expensive concept, dude. And it also does not destroy the spreading of the vaccine. You don't get herd immunity through PCR testing. I love that dumbasses, like dumbass conservatives, have such slow fucking functioning brains that they're now arriving at what we were talking about in a world where the vaccine did not exist. They were against it back then. Okay, PCR testing for every entry to job public gathering was something that I was advocating for last fucking year when there was no vaccine. Figure it out. We've gotten to a point where we have a fucking vaccine. Why do we have to follow everything Because of the dumbass hogs that are just like too stupid to recognize the changes that are happening around them.
To do it.
Everyone has the right to choose.
Almost everyone I met in Mountain Home told me they knew someone who died from COVID. Most people are undoubtedly concerned about the pandemic here. It didn't feel to me like a QAnon convention. Misinformation certainly exists here, but a powerful force behind the hesitancy is this fundamental idea of personal freedom. But in a community where individual rights are taking precedence over everything else, you get endless individual reasons not to get vaccinated, like believing the vaccine doesn't work.
I have two parents in their 70s, both had the vaccine.
Oh, here's the Nobel laureate. A baseless quote has been widely attributed to a Nobel Prize winner to claim people will die from the antibody-dependent enhancement after receiving a COVID-19 jab. There's no evidence to back up this claim, nor was Reuters able to find any instance where the laureate made this comment. The claim made in a post that has been screenshot and shared on social media. Bro, if this is what your fucking post looks like, then you probably shouldn't believe it, man. Like, look at this. Did you shoot this in a fucking Motorola Razr, dude? There's like not even an original fucking post there. Board's 4chan poll thread. Your sources are fucking 4chan and just the Wikipedia page of the person, dude. You literally took a photo of a post, a random fucking post. Has confirmed there's no chance of survival for people who have received any form of the vaccine. God damn it, dude. Look at this, dude. If this is the pixelation on your fucking post, then don't take it seriously, please. Pin message, order now your personal non-COVID vaccinated declaration. Of course, they're always selling some shit, too. They're always selling some shit. But then quotes him as saying, there's no hope and no possible treatment for those who have been vaccinated already. I love that. There's no hope for people who have been vaccinated. So the fucking hundreds of millions of people that have been vaccinated, we're all going to die, bro. Like, can you imagine? I mean, we are all going to die. But, like, not in the next 2 years. You know what I mean? Everyone inevitably dies. But this guy's like, yes, in the next 2 years, dude, fucking mass genocide. How do you avoid the mountain of evidence and the scientific consensus as you desperately cling on to, like, the 3 fucking dudes who got their doctorate at, like, the Bahama Veterinarian Institute, okay? Like, how? 98% of doctors have gotten the fucking vaccine. 98. 96, but 50% of them, and that was back in June, and 50% of them said that they were going to get the fucking vaccine. Why are you trying to fucking listen to some dumbass nurses that are like, oh my God? Because they're required? Don't you think that if doctors legitimately thought that there was a fucking fear of death, that they would probably go against getting this vaccine? God damn, dude. Yeah, 98% of doctors in America are just going to die in the next 2 years, dude. Wild to me. Like, absolutely fucking insane that people believe. Like, people live in this, like, insane world. 75 doctors are walking out in protest, by the way, in South Florida. As they're
staged a walkout to protest the number of COVID patients coming to the hospitals who have not been vaccinated. The thing, let's bring in...
Actually, let's finish the dying in the name of freedom, and then we'll get to the doctors.
And both got COVID.
A preference for hearsay.
He had heard that the people that...
Dude, motherfucker's still doing debate lord shit in his deathbed, dude. It's some of the most psychotic individuals that do stuff like this. It's like, bro, you're literally dying, dog. What's wrong with you? You are dying. I bet this guy is exactly the fucking same dude that says, like, yeah, well, that guy died because he's fat, okay? Like, well, bitch, so are you, okay? So are, like, more than half the country, so, you know, maybe we should take measures against that.
Were spreading the virus were people that had already had the vaccine and that they were carriers.
Straight up fear.
Oh, just people having reactions.
Even among those who overcame their hesitancy, there's a lack of urgency.
I don't really have any reasons to be out in circulation with the rest of the public. I just enjoy my dogs and work out on the farm and raise my koi fish.
With all these reasons not to get vaccinated floating around, it makes it hard for those who actually do want it.
I have a parent who does not necessarily support vaccinations, It was hard because she asked me where I was going, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get vaccinated, and she was not very happy with that.
What struck me was that Mary Beth had the courage to go against the grain.
People should be more concerned about the well-being of those around them, because I feel like not enough people...
No one has died from the vaccine. Why not get it? Because people fucking falsely claim that everyone is dying from the vaccine, or that everyone's just gonna die. Just like people literally say that Trump is still president, or he's gonna be president. You can't argue with a fucking psycho, dude. Copium is incredibly powerful, okay?
Are thinking about other people when they make the decision not to get the vaccine.
There's an irony in someone rebelling against a culture of individualism for the good of their community.
Literally a Hasanabi watcher right there.
But voices like Mary Beth's are drowned out by leaders who are contradicting public health officials.
No, the state is not going to be requiring and mandating vaccinations.
And I don't believe anyone should be forced to take the vaccine. It should be your personal choice.
These vaccines are always voluntary and never forced.
We don't have to accept the mandates, lockdowns, and harmful policies of the petty tyrants and bureaucrats.
We can either have a free society or we can have a...
Wait, Ben Shapiro says, if this new standard that failure to take measures to alleviate your own health problems are punishable by doctors refusing treatment, the extension of this logic to obesity will certainly be something. First of all, they're not going to do that. Okay? And secondly, you can't treat obesity with a fucking vaccine. It's significantly more comprehensive than that. Like, it's significantly more difficult than that. And lastly, I'm willing to fucking bet that Ben Shapiro unironically has an argument about obesity being the single most important factor in why we can't have socialized medicine. All of these fucking dipshits used to make that argument. America's far too fat to have socialized medicine because people don't treat themselves. People don't take care of their bodies. And therefore it'd be too fucking, it'd be too expensive. I'm old enough to remember that was a common conservative talking point. So go ahead, chat, do your fucking magic. Find Ben Shapiro advocating against socialized medicine because of obese people. Also, lastly, and this is kind of the fucking most important point, obesity is not communicable. You can't transmit obesity. I'm gonna fucking ratio him. Oh, you found it already. He makes that argument.
States is mainly unhealthy because we eat a bunch of shit here, right? I mean, that's it. That really is the reason. Our diet is really different than it is in, for example, Japan or in Norway, where people tend to exercise more and are healthier as an overall metric. So comparing populations is not like, it depends on where you're comparing. If you compare Norwegians in the United States to people who live in Norway, my guess is you probably wouldn't see an enormous difference in the level of healthcare obtained.
Let's keep going.
Biomedical security state.
There's no better place to see the impact of this political rhetoric than in the hospital. Only about 50% of the staff are vaccinated. None of the unvaccinated staffers were willing to talk.
There are just a lot of people that you cannot convince to get vaccinated. Patients, employees, it's very frustrating. It's sad. It's, I don't know, it's disappointing.
Just a few months ago, the staff was planning a cookout to celebrate the end of COVID. But instead of barbecuing, they're now battling another surge.
It's exhausting. We're all exhausted. We don't have staff. We don't have beds.
One obvious way out is to mandate the vaccine. But in April, the governor signed a law banning government mask mandates and vaccine passports. That shifts the responsibility mostly to private entities. Vaccine requirements as part of employment, attending school, or participating.
I'm literally in a hospital bed in a hallway because all the unvaccinated COVID patients are taking up the rooms. It's so surreal to see this in person. I have a distant relative that is a dumbass anti-vaxxer in a medical coma. Get vaccinated, everyone. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, man.
In sports are reluctantly motivating some to overcome their hesitancy. It seems to me that the only other thing that actually sways people here is being in the hospital.
And I really am upset at myself because I did not get vaccinated. I've never hurt like I've hurt. It's made a believer out of me.
This is what freedom looks like in America today. It's always been complicated. But political leaders should remember that this country was also founded on the idea that government should protect us. After all, in a pandemic, one person's freedom can be another person's death.
Probably should have had a little healthier fear that will need to be taken more seriously.
Dude, yes, but also you probably should have taken the fucking vaccine, dude. Like how? Oh, we're nearing the ratio range. Okay, folks, we're there. We got it. We're there. Only a little bit more. Up, that's almost there. Up, that is it. There's your ratio. Congratulations. We did it. We accomplished nothing. Do you think the vaccine is actually a Titan serum? I have a feeling it is. I'm scared if I hear a shout, I'll Titan shift. Maybe the real ratio is the friends we made along the way. Isn't it possible to make people who choose not to take the vaccine to sign a waiver that they give up their right for an ICU bed in case of a COVID infection? I feel like there's a lot of ethical concerns with that. My cousin is a classmate with anti-vax parents, and the poor kids have no friends and gets bullied for his parents. The kid isn't even anti-vax. That sucks. Why do you care so much about people getting vaccinated? It's none of your business, bro. Well, I don't want people to fucking die. Kind of why I want, like, you know, Medicare for all. Despite the fact that I can get health care.
I mean, I don't know how close I am to being a lot worse. I really don't know.
Christopher Green died 9 days after this interview. He was 53 years old.
Why do you want a mandate for the COVID vaccine, but not for the flu, which has had a similar mortality rate? Talk to me when the flu is killing 400,000 to 500,000 people a year, okay? Because as it stands, the flu kills like 30K to 50K max. Do you understand? When the common fucking flu that you get, when influenza kills 500,000 a year, pretty sure we would also do mandatory inoculations. I love that, though. I mean, I work for a uni and we require students to upload vaccination records. What's sad is that many students have reached out to me asking if parents get notified of the upload on our website because parents are anti-vax or threatening to disown their students or stop paying or kick them out of their house. Luckily, we only notify the student who uploads them, but the stories are always disheartening. Yeah, I mean, there's chatters in here that have like snuck in a vaccine. I get messages from you guys every fucking day. I used your talking points against my mom and dad, and hopefully, and luckily I was able to get them vaccinated. I used talking points against my mom and dad, and I was able to get a vaccine. I used some of the resources that you've shown on stream, and was able to get a vaccine. There are a lot of young people in here that are, you know, taking measures in their own hands to either protect their families, or at least, if it doesn't work out, protect themselves. What's the number one cause of death? Cardiac disease? It's heart disease, yeah. Still number one. Should we be more proactive about this too? Absolutely. I don't have a problem with that at all. Of course, there are plenty of people who will not listen to the talking points, unfortunately. Holy shit, those who contract COVID-19 in Mississippi are being asked to either isolate at home or for 10 days or more, otherwise face a prison sentence of up to 5 years and possibly a major fine. Dude, this fucking sucks. Like, it shouldn't get to this point, man. That sucks. What are you gonna do if you're fucking a worker and you didn't know? No, don't say base, dude. There's like poor people who don't fucking know. People will, yeah, that'll cause people to not get tested and not know. Because most of the people aren't like this fucking idiot right here, which I want to talk to you about. Wonder why South Dakota has seen a 200% increase in COVID cases in the past 2 weeks. Oh, here's one. A guy proudly proclaiming riding 300 miles to Sturgis with COVID. Dean Nelson and Wendy Nelson. Almost 300 miles through South Dakota, 95 degrees in Corona. Hardest ride ever, and I've had some tough ones. Wendy is really struggling. I was so sick all day, but this woman got me through it, and we had a good time despite whatever I have. Her last Sturgis Bike Week with me was 2012. For 42 years, we've been making memories together, and these are just a few more. There's the few last ones, you fucking idiot. Wendy's nuts? I don't know about Wendy's nuts, but... So is she single now? Yeah, Wendy might be single now, boys, you know? Anyway, so doctors in Florida are doing a walkout in protest of their hospitals flooded with unvaccinated people who got COVID.
Just moments ago, more than 75 doctors staged a walkout to protest the number of COVID patients coming to the hospitals who have not been vaccinated. The thing, let's bring in Carrie Sanders, because Carrie, you're in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, at this doctor's walkout. Carrie, and I know the area very well. What Americans don't understand is for every unvaccinated person that's filling up an ICU bed, that means with the hospitals jammed, somebody with a heart attack, and I've known somebody in this position, goes there, has trouble getting in, can't get treatment, can't get a bed. It is a nightmare for the doctors. It is a nightmare for the nurses. And to the doctor's point of view, it's worse yet for sick people that want help from them.
That is truly reflective of the frustration that you see behind me. These doctors have gathered, some coming off their shifts to come out here, gathering to try to tell people, please, first of all, ignore the nonsense and the absurdities that you're hearing people say at public meetings and recognize the value of what a vaccine will do. 85% of the ICU beds in Florida are full. Now, there are some hospitals that have no space in the ICU. They've turned cafeterias, they've turned conference centers over to beds to house patients because they are so overwhelmed. Dr. J.T. Snarsky is joining us here. She's one of the doctors. First of all, you hear that woman at the school board saying the absurdity. How does that make you feel, and how do you combat it?
It's incredibly frustrating because we know vaccines are safe and effective, and it's people who go out and talk against them that really go against physicians and medicine and science, and it's not the message we want to get across to people. Vaccines are safe, and we need to get our communities vaccinated.
It is significant. As I step out here, I can see they're all standing here, white jackets, some coming off of their shifts.
Obesity is trending, along with Ben Shapiro. 50 million deaths from influenza in 1 year after its inception. But guys, the Spanish flu went away, dude.